Hi, how are you? I want to talk about healing today. Again, that's what I'm talking about. But I want to talk about how your healing journey starts with love. How getting to the root of your healing hindrances. So whatever it is that's preventing you from being able to move forward with your healing, because sometimes it has something to do with just the fact that you're not acknowledging your needs, you're not loving yourself in the process and learning how to forgive yourself and love yourself. So, just the idea that you want to start a healing journey proves that you care for yourself, that you want the best for yourself, and that showing yourself compassion and love, which is desiring to be well, take care of yourself. So, you should commend yourself for that. You are beginning to show yourself the compassion necessary to heal. So in order to heal, like nurses are usually compassionate. And if you're around someone who's compassionate, you can balance, give yourself that kind of tenderness. Think of treating yourself as if you're your own nurse. The compassion you show to others should reflect back to your own compassionate ways to treat yourself. So the way that you would treat somebody when they were sick, they came to you and they were sick and they needed help, or you took care of them because they couldn't take care of themselves, is the same idea. And some people already know this, but there's a lot of people who don't. Some people take a lot better care of other people than they take care of themselves. And it's actually something that they have to learn to treat themselves with compassion. I'm one of those people, that's why I'm still learning how to be compassionate towards myself. I will let people do things, forgive people, be understanding about other people, but I'm really hard on myself. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who behaves like that. And it's actually counteracting your healing because your attitude towards your healing is going to be the biggest influence how you feel about the healing, how compassionate you are for yourself through it. Because there's going to be times when you're coming across really hard, difficult things, you're going to have to pat yourself on the back. Because there's some things that you really just can't get through unless you do it on. And that's true with life. You have to do a lot of things on your own. And showing yourself compassion was one of them. Learning to be compassionate towards yourself. Being around people who are compassionate towards you while you're healing. Connecting your healing to a compassionate experience through self love and the love of God. Remember how much God loves you. Now He's working, He is propelling your healing journey. He's the one who's getting everything going and getting you in a place where you need to be compassionate for yourself because He's showing you compassion. He's compassionate towards you and He knows where you need to heal so He can open you up in those areas. But you have to be compassionate towards yourself to actually get that healing effect. What type of compassion can you show yourself? Think of ways you can be compassionate to yourself. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, forgive yourself. Can you be allowed to make mistakes? Can you allow yourself to make mistakes? Can you be okay with making mistakes? That'll help you to try new healing techniques that maybe you're afraid to try. Like I told you, do your research for every cause or ailment that you have. You want to look up different techniques to healing, listen to people's testimonies, and then can you be compassionate with yourself to try even if it doesn't work? And when it doesn't work, can you be okay with that? Trying something else. And then when something does work, giving yourself the compassion to you can propel your own thinking about how, wow, this is working. I just need to understand that if I show myself some compassion, I can get through it. Can you forgive yourself if you have made mistakes? If you've done something, can you be compassionate enough to truly forgive yourself? That's a big thing. If you're holding all this resentment towards your own self and not forgiving yourself for some things that you did, and you're carrying that around, it's very heavy. when you're not showing yourself compassion. That's what I mean. Remember God's forgiveness. There isn't anybody God hasn't forgiven. There isn't anybody too far gone that they cannot be forgiven. And it's God's job to forgive. It's hard for you to forgive people, and sometimes that's okay. Take your time. Be compassionate with yourself about that too. There's some things that are hard to forgive. Just have compassion with yourself. Just say, I don't have to forgive this person right now. I can work towards forgiveness. And that goes along with yourself too. Try to forgive yourself. Just let yourself finally forgive yourself. There's a good chance you haven't forgiven yourself in a while. Talk about God and how He's forgiven you to yourself and how compassionate He is to you. Remind yourself that He's forgiving and compassionate. And when you see other people and you treat them with compassion, make a note of that. Try to show yourself that same compassion. God isn't a respecter of person, right? He's forgiving towards everyone. We need to be forgiving. God's not holding any anger towards us. He wants us to forgive ourselves. He's already forgiven us. So just evaluate your mistakes. Let them go. Just release them. Write them all down. Journal some things that you're sorry that happened, some mistakes that you made along the way, and things that you aren't forgiving yourself for. Write those things down, and as you cross them up or off or rip them up, just let them go. Just forgive yourself. There's nothing you can't go back and fix the mistakes that you made. That's done. And trying to move forward, pulling those mistakes back and fixing them again and again. Let it go. Try something different. You can use your mistakes in a compassionate way by learning from and forgiving yourself. Right. So look at them as lessons. Look at them as, wow, you really tried something. Some people don't have enough courage to try this mistake that you made. Even if it was something that you're like, why did I even do that? Well, you did it. You tried. You have to experience, right? So you're gonna make it, or you're not gonna experience. Not forgiving ourselves can cause us to carry unnecessary guilt that God has already released us from. Like I said, do you think if you do something and feel remorse about it, then you should continue to punish yourself? Right. So there's a hint right there. I think you're at a place where you can release whatever it is that you did and forgive yourself. If you're remorseful for something and that's why you can't forgive yourself, and that's usually the case, then you already are forgiven by God. The idea that you've made a mistake, that you repented of it, that you're sorry for it, and you tell God, I'm sorry, God, I messed this up. That's the whole idea. You've already made the first steps. All you have to do is let it go. You're acknowledging that you're sorry that you did this. You can't carry around that because that's actually more than unforgiveness. It's guilt when you keep carrying around something that you just have to, that remorse in itself is the penance, right? You paid for it. So the problem would be is you did a mistake or you did something and you're not remorseful for it. You're not taking accountability. You're not responsible for it. And that's a big issue. But you're at a place where you're actually not being compassionate to yourself because you won't release it, you won't forgive it. And you already know that you did this thing. So that's totally different than somebody who is not sorry for what they did. They're not remorseful for what they did. They don't really care about what they did. They don't want to acknowledge it. They want to sweep it under the rug. So just be compassionate toward yourself. That's all I wanted to say.